Crews from the EPA are combing through the burn zones to find any hidden hazards, and Governor Newsom has issued an executive order to expedite new temporary housing. Our Kelsi Thorud is live in Altadena. Kelsi, you spent some time in some of those neighborhoods just devastated by the Eaton Fire.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Ryan. You can see one of those houses here behind me, and this is a very common sight here in Altadena. But there's another thing that a lot of people are talking about here in Altadena, and that's the hundreds of people that are actually still living in the burn zone because their homes were okay, like these homes just across the street. We actually met one man earlier today who said he's been camping out in his home since the flames passed through here.
Bunch of flashlights, rechargeable AA's, headlights, lighters. We have this propane gas stove, it's 3-burner. We take it outside.
Ruslan Abayev and his wife have been camping out inside their Altadena home since the Eaton Fire tore through last week.
We're on this emotional roller coaster, you know, where we're still staying. We can't leave, but it's just up and down. And
Ruslan is just one of hundreds of people estimated to still be living in their homes inside the burn zone. We met him as he was making his way home after picking up some supplies at a nearby pop-up station within the zone. Kelsi.
Nice to meet you, Kelsi.
Nice to meet you. This
Jim.
is Jim.
Nice to meet you. Jim.
The entire perimeter of the burn zone in Altadena is being heavily guarded by police and National Guard. Ruslan says if he were to leave the zone, he wouldn't be allowed back in. Even as we were following him back up to his house, he got pulled over by CHP.
that was the first time the sheriff pulled over. I usually pull up to them, talk to them, or, you know. So they were asking what I was doing here. You know, this area is closed, not supposed to be driving around here. I told them our house survived, we're still standing.
Ruslan says he and so many people whose homes survived are staying put not because they want to, but because they feel like they have to.
Because they're not letting people back in. I feel like the anxiety and stress would be stressed at the hotel room watching the news. At least here we're trying to do something.
Ruslan says he already saw one suspected looter drive up his road. He put out these signs to try and stop any more from coming.
Living in California, I've seen previous disasters and how people take matters into their own hands, especially in the areas where people loot, so I wanted to put up some signs trying to deter.
Ruslan says he and his wife are prepared to continue to camp out in their home as long as they need to, though he hopes officials will create a better system for letting homeowners in and out soon.
It seems like they're starting to open up areas that are close to us. We're hoping by this weekend, so we're kind of, trying to gauge it based on that.
He says until then, they're hunkering down and just doing their best to remember what they still have, not all that they've lost.
Just try to remember that we still have to survive and continue on, and that kind of gives us a little bit of strength every day.
And to try and help all the folks like Ruslan, there's groups like this inside the burn zone that are cooking hot meals and handing out food and water to these people that can't go out without being able to come back in. So these people have gotten access to bring in food to all of these families, hundreds of people, Ryan, that are still living in the evacuation zone. And coming up at 6, we'll have much more on this group who has been out here working since the flames came through here. And they're out here 24/7. They say they're going to be out here until they're no longer needed.
Yep, neighbors helping neighbors. Okay, Kelsi Thorud reporting live in Altadena.